Alright team, super short video today. The legacy event for PoE 1 is coming out today. I'll be streaming at noon, and I wanted to go over my league slash event starter with you guys. Don't mind how horrendous the gameplay is, by the way. This was very unlike riding a bike. Maybe riding a bike with 4 extra legs or something like that, because holy fuck did this feel so weird. This is the first time I played since PoE 2, and it did not go well. But anyways, this is what it looks like, and honestly, the build is actually fucking poggers as fuck. It's one of the best league starters that people are saying for a reason. Earthshatter Ancestral Commander is going to be absolutely safe. There's no question about it. It's going to be one of the best builds to start with. It will do everything. It's a phenomenal all-rounder. Earthshatter is already really good. Earthshatter Jugg was already super good. And once you pair it with Ancestral Commander, the big thing with Ancestral Commander is that you're pretty much never going to die. Like, once you spell suppress cap the character, you are pretty much invulnerable. Take a look at the actual Ascendancy itself. We'll probably be going Ancestral Endurance and Ancestral Defiance first, and then I'll take Tough and Skin for the action speed minimum. This is really nice because this is the Jugg passive where you can't be slowed or anything like that. We'll have to run in the POB. We'll have to run Unwavering Stance, and this does change how this tree looks. Normally you'd start up here and go up, but we'll have to grab Unwavering Stance to get the Cannot Be Stunned modifier. But other than that, it's pretty much Jugg exactly the same. And then I'll take Call of the Ancestors last. The reason why I take this last is because you won't even have Earthshatter until around like level 70, 75. I mentioned it in the POB, but the thing that you'll need to swap from Sunder to Earthshatter is you'll just need -X to non-channeling on your rings. And that is, it reduces the cost of non-channeling skills by like 6 or 7 flat mana. Once you have, I think I did this when I first swapped. It was with all 3, so I had 2 on my rings and 1 on my amulet. You're just going to need a ton of mana cost reduction, because when you're spamming Warcries and you have Warcries on auto exert, all of that costs mana to use. So really the number one thing that gates you from swapping Earthshatter is just not having that Elrion ring enchant. But once you get this, then you're pretty much good to go. And you will need to take some mana cost reduction, and maybe if you really wanted to swap to it early, you could go into like Spirit of War and kind of grab all this. But Sunder is fine for early mapping. You won't feel the need to swap immediately. It does fall off, but long before it falls off, you'll be able to swap to Earthshatter. The other thing to consider that I mentioned here is that you have a choice between 2 different types of swaps. So I prefer the much more manual input version where you have 3 shouts that you hit constantly, and then you would start with 2 shouts or 3 shouts on auto exertion, and this allows you to start earlier because you won't need a 5-link or mana res, and this allows you to run auras. And the other thing I like about it too is I'm pretty sure it gives you more damage. I'm like 90% positive about that. But if you want to go the more automated version where you don't want to press anything and you just kind of want to like walk around and press Earthshatter, I think you'll have to have at least 1 or 2 shouts that you manually press. But if you want to go that option, you'll have to do it a little bit later because you will need a 5-link or a second 5-link. And then the other thing too is that you're going to need probably some mana reservation stuff, because each aura or each Warcry will reserve mana as though it is an aura. So bear that in mind. So with the Earthshatter swap out of the way, because that's pretty much like the main thing I feel like a lot of builds miss out on, is people don't really give you like a definitive when do we swap to fucking Earthshatter, and there it is. You need mana rings, and then you need to decide if you want to do the manual version or if you want to do the more automated version. I won't go too specifically in how the build works or how it plays. This is just a general like, hey, this is what I'm running. I have a POB, but that is also unbelievably rough. It is by no means complete. I didn't explain 90% of everything. It was just kind of a random jumble of like, here's some shit to kind of give you an idea. But this is what the build plays like. You hop around, you spam Earthshatter, or you hit Earthshatter once or twice, and then ideally either your automated Warcries will pop it or you'll pop it with a manual Warcry. It does a fuck ton of damage because Earthshatter is just so good. Once you get Echoes of Creation, which is the helm, that gives you so much damage. It also gives you your curse. Like, it's just disgusting. And with Ancestral Commander, the reason why this will be so good is because you will just never fucking die. Between the extra endurance charges, between Ancestral Defiance, you are just pretty much going to be invulnerable. So it's going to be tight as fuck. It'll go straight to T17s. In Necro Settlers, I completed my Atlas and got all my Void Stones with a Invictus Medal. Like, you just don't even need anything. It just does so much damage out the gate. We cover the POB more in depth. This is an extremely rough POB. It's by no means complete. I didn't even realize there was like a fucking manage tab to have different links. So these are going to be the links for like the later game. This is all the shit you're going to be running. I include some early leveling trees to give you an idea of where you should go, what you should pick up. I pretty much just went down and rushed these nodes right here. Grab Resolute Technique, grab Unwavering Stance, pick up Fortify, grab your Endurance Charge generation, pick up Kinetic Impacts. It's just really effective. Go up here, grab some Diamond Skin, maybe grab Heart of the Warrior warrior, that sort of thing. This is just some early stuff. It doesn't really matter. Like your early level, whatever the fuck you put in here is really not that important. The only thing that really matters is you get a big axe. You need a big axe. Big axe. That's literally the fucking entire character is big axe, okay? So that's what you're looking for the entire time. I do include that in the notes. I go over the fizz weapon recipe. I go over the node order that you're going to be taking. I give you some ideas on how the early levels should look. I go over kind of mid-level. This is probably where you'll grab some auras. You could probably grab auras earlier, to be honest. And then lastly, I cover the Earthshatter swap. And then in late maps, I show you kind of like what it would look like ideally. Like, you know, they have the Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh. You have the 2 cluster jewels to grab Elegant Form. And then also, this is a really important medium cluster, is the one to give you Onslaught from Warcry. This gives you perma Onslaught. And then I go over like this Thread of Hope. This Thread of Hope is absolutely cracked. Like you get so much shit from this Thread of Hope. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this POB. Remember, this is not going to guide you all the way. This is extremely rough. If you're a new player, this will probably not help you at all. This is just a general kind of like what it should look like somewhat. Woolie has a Jugg video that I will link that kind of goes over it far more in depth. It's the exact same thing. You can just copy paste it and move it over. Alkaizer, I think, will also have something on this build as well, or something similar, and then I'll also be streaming the build, so if you want to come in and ask questions, feel free to do so. But than that, that's gonna be everything from you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys here in a little bit. Deuces.